Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. A video I've been looking forward to make over the last 24 hours. As you can see, the smile on my face. It's going to be impossible to wipe off for a wee while, until maybe the next time anyway. But we're here to recap the game yesterday. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you fucking do it. That's how I always look at football. It doesn't matter how you get the win. If you get it, that's what fucking matters. And yesterday, Celtic managed to go out at Celtic Park and get the win over Rangers 2-1 in a game which was intense. It was good to watch. It was a derby. You know, you've seen that from start to finish. It was a proper derby feel about it. So many talking points to speak about in this game. Also, before the video goes up, I'd like to urge you all to please come and watch along tonight, so I have a balanced audience on CJ's channel, CJ Novo 992. We're going to be doing the SPFL show live, 7 o'clock. Usually quite an outweighed audience. Usually the majority of people there are Rangers fans. I'll be there to, you know, debate the match with CJ if you like. And the big talking points, I imagine Scott Brown will be one of those talking points and such. So get yourself along there. It'll be an interesting show to say the least. Probably the most interesting one we've done so far. And that's all because of the game yesterday. But anyway, on to the game. And, I mean, what a story. I did say I didn't expect it to be one of the games where we went out 4-5-0, and we'll talk from start to finish. I didn't expect that. I actually predicted 2-0, so I wasn't far away. It was 2-1. Rangers did nick a goal. They got one in there, but it was a tale of two halves, wasn't it? But even at the, you know, the second half, we'll get on to the second half after the first half really. But even with that second half performance, I still thought overall Celtic were the better team. They deserved the win. We had the better chances. And overall, just player by player, went and deserved the win. So we'll start from the start. You know, early on, we could have got a goal basically straight away, and Cham was very unlucky. McGregor with a good save. And McGregor's a solid keeper, a very good keeper, in fact. He's always going to be tough to beat, but I thought we were going to open the scoring very, very early there. Eduardo went and opened the scoring for us with a fantastic goal, fantastic finish, beating Worrell with no problem whatsoever. And then finishing it past McGregor wonderfully. And Edouard, let's talk about this very quickly. I'm going to use the exact words that I put on Twitter, and I don't care how many Rangers fans are watching this video, and I don't care how many times you try to comment with statistics and goal numbers for this season. If you genuinely believe, this is the way I put it on Twitter, if you genuinely believe Morelos is a better striker than Edouard, you deserve to be sectioned. It's completely untrue that Morelos is better than Edouard. Edouard showing the composure, the technical ability, the finishing ability, everything. Absolutely everything. A complete striker with a fantastic finish. If Eduard was fit this whole season, maybe things would be different. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't help actually when Morelos gets sent off, you know, 5 times in a season. So maybe I'm being a wee bit harsh on Morelos. He's done well to score 29 goals. But Morelos, once again, missing out on the big occasion. No goals, no assists in an Old Firm game. Eduard, 4 goals, 2 assists in Old Firm games. And keep in mind, you know, Morelos apparently the best striker in Scotland. But when it comes to these big games, well, where is he? Just answer me that one, Rangers fans, in the comments. I'm not here to be bitter. I'm not here to be a cunt. I'm not here to be a complete one-sided. You know, I like to be as unbiased as possible on YouTube. But I'm just saying it how it is. Eduard has that technical ability that I just feel Morelos hasn't got. And I'm not denying that Morelos is a good player and a good goal scorer, but he's not a complete striker. And the sending off yesterday, absolutely a red card. Now, I see Rangers fans trying to say it's not a red card. He snapped at the slight, and everybody's saying how did Brown not get booked for clipping his heels. That's Morelos' own fault. He asks, number one, to be, you know, what's the word? I can't think of the word. I forgot the word. It's just slipped my mind altogether. But Morelos asked for it. Every team in the country can do it now. They know he's going to snap at anything. And Brown, accidental or deliberate, don't know if the intentions were there by Brown. He barely clipped his fucking heel. And what does Morelos do? He turns around and smacks him an elbow to the face. And yes, it did clearly connect. Clearly. Maybe it looks like it doesn't, but you can. His elbow hits him right in the fucking face. It's a deserved red card. Morelos off the park. Very well spotted by Bobby Madden, which is surprising. A very good decision. And Rangers are down to 10 men at that point in the game. First half, we should have had more goals. We should have, you know, been up 2-0 by half time. We just didn't bury chances. We dominated that first half. We were fantastic. We deserved to be up by more goals going into the break. Second half, yes, I would say Rangers, with even 10 men, sometimes it is more difficult to play against 10 men. It's, I mean, Celtic proved that at Ibrox a couple of years ago. We went there and beat them 3-2, not even a couple last year. We went over to Ibrox and won 3-2. We went down to 10 men and the game changed and Celtic became the better team. Because sometimes the whole mentality and the psychology of the game just changes altogether. and, you know, tactics change, and just things happen, and sometimes playing against 10 men is difficult. But Celtic playing against 10 men, you know, even though Rangers, I would say, did dominate that second half, if you watch it back on Sports Scene, right, and you know, obviously Sports Scene just shows you the kind of key bits and the good chances and that, Celtic still had the better chances. Rangers might have had the majority of the ball, Celtic might have been making bad mistakes, but Celtic had the better chances still in the second half. The goal, though, when Rangers got that goal and Ryan Kent went through, good finish as well from Ryan Kent. He's a good player, no denying that. We'll come on to more about Ryan Kent. Good finish, good goal. But that, as Neil Lennon said in his post-match press conference, as he put it, kind of changed the whole psychology of the game. Rangers looked more hungry. They looked as though they could go up and grab a win. And I wouldn't have been surprised. It was very tense watching on. And when they got that goal, things just kind of changed. Celtic became sloppy, they became slow. They looked a wee bit clueless as to what to do. And I think it just took that kind of get the ball, be patient, and work things out, because things were happening. People were rushing about. I ended up passing the fucking ball to Tierney, who was off the park. Things like that. We were just kind of rushing. We weren't thinking. We weren't playing smart football. It was like the team just went into panic mode because they didn't know what to do when Rangers scored that goal. And they just had to kind of collect themselves and gather the head again. They had to just get into that mental state and like, what the fucking bus? We've got 11 men, Rangers haven't. But then we went down to 10 men because we used all fucking substitutes and Dedrick had to go off injured. Big Boyata took a knock, had to go off. Injuries were happening. I've seen Rangers fans complain about fucking, and a wee clip you'll see as well, the Rangers fan outside the Bristol and fucking the microphone and that, saying I don't even think it was that. I don't know, but there was people, Rangers fans saying, Celtic players going down every 5 minutes with injuries. That's because of our genuine injuries. It's not like Boyata just decided to stand up and go, I can't be arsed anymore, I'm going to go into the tunnel. No, there's a lot like that. Players were injured. What was very impressive, talking about injuries, was the fact we still managed to get this win, and Rangers fans are using, he's beat a 10-man Rangers, well done, blah blah blah. We went in with a very, very unfit side. There is no doubt Tierney wasn't fit to play, had to go off early, but even Tierney didn't look like he was at his full fitness, and Cham wasn't at his full fitness. Roderick came on, he was far from full fitness, cunt could barely run. There was Edouard is still coming back from injury, though I think he was one of the best players in the park yesterday. That's still a team that was coming back from injuries and such as well. Like, there wasn't a fully fit Celtic side on the park. But we got the win, so I'm not going to complain about that too much. You've got to remember that as well. But players getting injured, we went down to 10 men. And at that point, you think to yourself, oh, Jesus, this isn't going to be great at all. But we fought hard. And then Celtic went up and grabbed that winner very late into the game. And what a tense 5 minutes it was after, I should have said 10 when I went to fucking stoppages. Unbelievable scenes when Forrest got the goal. Very well deserved goal. What we did at the end of the day deserved the win. And I'm going to be fair at Rangers, saying hats off. They gave us a tough challenge. It's one of the most tightly contested Old Firms I've seen at Celtic Park. And Gerrard obviously has a bit of a clue as to what he is doing. He's gathered somewhat of an understanding in that Rangers side, which has lacked a lot of it over the last couple of years. But they're still not good enough. You know, they're still not going to challenge for that title next season. I would go as far to say right now, with the two squads as it looks, obviously there's a lot to be done. There's a full transfer window to sit through. There's a managerial appointment to sit through. As things stand, I'm saying is, Rangers don't look as though they can challenge for that title, because they've got a hot-headed striker who's getting sent off 5 times a season. They've got a defence who don't look confident. They've got a manager who can't gather consistency in his side. There's a lot of things there. Moving on in the last 5 minutes of the game, Rangers still lost another 2 players in my eyes. Ryan Kent, obviously one of the big talking points, giving Scott Brown the knockout punch. Rangers fans celebrating that. You know, I've seen a good tweet of somebody else saying Rangers used to celebrate winning trophies. Now they celebrate one of their players losing the plot and full on punching someone. At the end of the day, Scott Brown got the last laugh, as he's the man who's going to go up and lift the league title again this season. But that should have been a red card. I also believe there should be another red card brought out on, I think it was Andy Halliday, and I can't remember the player who was through on goal. It might have been Edouard, might have been Forrest. But he's through on goal, he's the last man, and he just gets put to the ground. There's full contact, no dive, nothing. And there's no card. That's a red card. That's part of the rules. Your last man on goal. Bang, it should be a red. So for me, there should be 2 red cards, but more specifically, the Ryan Kent one. God knows how he got away with that, and surely, I mean, you've got to look at standards here. Moshney a few years ago was given a 12-game ban for lashing out in a similar fashion in a playoff game against Motherwell. He was given a 12-match ban. Now, are we going to see the same thing happen for Ryan Kent? Because unbiased opinion, he should be getting the same treatment. And I'd say the same if it was a Celtic player who done it. Because the same treatment was given to a Rangers player a few years ago after he lashed out in a similar fashion. Why not should there be a 12? There should be a 12-game ban given to Ryan Kent as well. You can't just do that in the middle of a football park. It's no boxing. It's the middle of a football game. I don't get how high passions run, how wound up you might be. You can't just do that. You can't turn around and do it. And Rangers fans are celebrating it as if it's something good. No, it's probably going to affect your team if he gets a ban. So one of your best players is now going to miss a few games, perhaps. For me, it should be a 12-match ban if that's the standard. And I'd be saying the same if it was a 3-match ban, 4-match ban. 12 might seem extreme, but if it's happened before, I don't see why it shouldn't happen again. Winding it up, Christopher Ayer, what a fantastic stop from him. One of the key players in the park yesterday, absolutely sensational performance. Can't stress enough how much of a player, how much I adore him as a player. Absolutely outstanding. And he saved it from being a late equaliser yesterday. Unreal performance from Ayer, I thought, at points. And you can see the passion in that boy. He loves being that big game player. He has that passion around him. You've seen it, his reaction after that tackle. And I've been saying it for ages about Christopher Ayer on this channel, how much I adore him and how much I feel like he's got such a massive potential at Celtic. And performances like that goes to prove it. Fantastic performance from him. Edouard, a marvellous performance. Forrest, great performance. You're looking at potential the player of the year there. Scott Brown, let's finish off the video with talking about Scott Brown. I'm going to talk a lot about it tonight, probably on that live show, as I've already spoke about at the start of the video. Scott Brown, it's hilarious watching the action against Scott Brown. A little bit of gentle goading. There's nothing in the rule books that says you can't celebrate in front of the opposition fans. Should he be going over to the Rangers fans and celebrating at the end of the game? Probably not, right? Let's be honest. Maybe there's a lack of professionalism there. But it wouldn't be that. If, you know, you get... Here's a point. Here's a point for you. When Paul Gascoigne's sitting playing the fucking flute, it's idolised. Rangers fans use that image as one of their favourite moments. Yeah, that's alright. But when Scott Brown simply puts his arms out to celebrate a victory, apparently he's the biggest criminal in Glasgow. Scott Brown is the fucking king of Scottish football, and that's the end of discussion. He's untouchable. And Rangers fans might try to claim that he's the most protected player, blah, 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 all this, that, next thing. At the end of the day, he's Captain fucking Invincible. He's allowed to celebrate. And, you know, you can have all these arguments for it, why he shouldn't be celebrating in front of Rangers fans and that, but when you're constantly berated all game by a section of supporters, and then finally you get that moment, that final whistle, and you know you can just have a celebration, and you want to just just get rid of everything, just have that big sense of relief. You can't blame the guy. You can't. And there's been so many times Rangers fans, Rangers players have celebrated in front of Celtic fans and such. Maybe it'd be a different story if it was on the other side, but there's nothing in the rule books that you're not allowed to celebrate. And Andy Halliday then tried to start causing it at the end of the game, and oh, fantastic. Really had the real feel of an all-fun match, didn't it? Let me know your opinions anyway. I've kind of rambled in this video. I think I've been speaking a lot of shite, but it's a very passionate game, and it's just we got to win it. At the end of the fucking day, we won. Who cares? 2-1. Up yous. Joe, if you have enjoyed, like and subscribe. I can't wait to see the comments section on this one. All I care about is the win. And we'll see what happens at Ibrox in a few weeks' time when we visit in the split. Another close encounter, I would imagine. And it'll be a tricky one. A lot to speak about. I'll probably actually do a video about Scott Brown. And maybe even the win. And just a lot of things in general. But like and subscribe, as I said. And I'll see you all next time.